Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearthstone for Kaiserreich as Ukraine. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So, currently we're at 48% world tension. We're about halfway. Well, I mean, we're more than halfway there, right? The max is 75. Well, not the max, but the one for the second Military, 75%. Well, it's more like we're 2/3 of the way to the war. And we're ending 37. So we'll probably have, I would say, maybe 2 years until we're actually at war with the Russians. I feel fairly okay, at least right now. What do we have? We have 29 divisions. That's not bad. I mean, we could have more, obviously, but I'll still take this. Loyal bureaucrats. Yeah, well, we'll throw some loyal bureaucrats in there. We're already at 83% stability. Quite nice. Getting up to 100, let's just say I would not say no. I would not say no. I mean, our war support is pretty bad. So when we actually end up being at war with Russia, we are going to take a pretty substantial stability hit, which is going to go down -21. That is quite a bit. Has completed all 3 missions. The thing is, the missions aren't showing up here. I'm hoping that's not going to hamper us here. If we need to cheat through this, then we're going to cheat through it, because I don't know why they're not showing up. The Cossack Kid is no end. Former restoration of the Cossack socialist state was one of the first 3 measures undertaken by Skoropadsky upon taking power in 1918. This militarized landowning quasi-aristocracy was supposed to become the backbone of the new conservative order. With time, an elaborate structure of self-government was put in place, starting with local Cossack councils, the Radas, all the way up to the Grand Cossack Rada. After almost 2 decades, the result of the experiment seems to be mixed, bestowed with various privileges such as the right to assist local law enforcement structures, the ability to influence local politics through Cossack councils, and most importantly, freedom to gather their own armed militia forces. Cossacks in the end failed to become anything more than a glorified landowning paramilitary, laying often flimsy claims to the traditions of old. At least that's what's widely accepted opinion among significant parts of the Hetman's coalition. This revolt has only exacerbated concerns and suspicions regarding the issue. Cossack militias were instrumental in the suppression, but poor discipline and sometimes misplaced sense of duty had led to a number of regrettable incidents. In order to keep the state's monopoly on violence inviolable, something must be done. 2 proposals have emerged. The US KHD Cossack councils were long regarded as promising foundations for classocratic structures, and surely a decree of their militarization should be drastically lowered. The councils themselves would be useful for the Ukrainian state. For the UDKHP, even this is too much. They envision a gradual transformation of these assemblies into purely ceremonial bodies, dedicated solely to preservation and celebration of rich Ukrainian culture. Let's go for... Yes, let's have them become cultural clubs. We still need to get you up to... I think you're at 48, because it's you two come... No, it's just you need to be at... You need to be at 40. I think we need to do all... We need to get you... this up to 40, and we needed this guy hired, if I'm remembering correctly. So when we get you up to 40%, we'll see if that unlocks this. If it doesn't, we're just going to bypass it, because I think it might just be broken. So let's do the diversification of exports to get a little bit more reform progress here and there. And you give us a 2% boost. We will take this, because we kind of have to. So we'll get our... I mean, I think last time, didn't we get like an event when we completed one of the missions? I'm pretty sure we did. And somebody, people were saying in the comments that we probably should send some volunteers over to Spain, just so we can maybe have another front line against the French in the south. Which I think makes perfect sense. How many units can we actually send? We can send 1 division. Let's just send a basic cavalry, nothing like super crazy. So Spain, here you go, have 1 single division. Because obviously we don't want CNT to win. The guy crazy, right? But if we can like, because we're taking over like the southern part of Catalonia. If we can like rush away to Barcelona, I think we could. Because we're on high fervor, they're on waning fervor because we've taken over half their starting territory. When do we actually arrive? We will be there on the 23rd, so it's a few more days from now. Our exports soar. After the tumultuous years, the economy is finally in green numbers. In fact, it's never been better. The war in America has drastically reduced the amount of exporting wheat in the world markets, and we've become among those greatly profiting from the tragedy of the United States. In addition, the world around us has been recovering from the worst economic recession, and despite the ruling threat of war and still sore wounds from the revolt, Ukrainian exports have recovered very well. So we need to take a cut. Oh no, give me a 10% boost here. So that should be, if I'm not mistaken, the 3 missions done. I think it's just broken, unfortunately. You know what? I'm gonna go watch the old VOD, and I'm gonna look at the description and see if we've actually technically completed those. So just one moment. Okay, so I just went back to check the VODs. I'm guessing because maybe there was a hotfix the other day, and that kind of, I believe, probably broke this. So we're going to ignore you for now. I think technically we failed, because it's actually November. I think we're supposed to complete this in, like, September. So we technically failed the mission, but we can't really do anything about that. So, you know, give me a quick... Actually, we won't do it quite yet. We'll wait for this to finish first. And then we're just going to basically bypass that focus. It's just a little bit broken. I can't do anything about that. And that's A-okay. What do you actually do? Triumph long in the making. Medieval obstacles to the USA KHP. Can now begin consulting grip over the nation. And we get 5% factory output. What more could you possibly ask for? So you'll be done tomorrow. Finland has requested grain. Yeah, we'll sell them some grain. You know, I could use the political power. We're gonna do focus. Focus.autocomplete. I'm assuming, does it fail? This focus will cancel the requirements are not met. So we have to do, yeah, autocomplete, and then we gotta do no checks. Because we gotta bypass this. I'm gonna turn both of those off. Yeah, it just, the game kind of broke with went from 0.25 to 0.251 or something like that, so I can't fix that. Oh, there's also a lot of text here. Okay. A triumph long in the making. The clueless onlooker might assume that the gathering of the Hetman's coalition isn't all that different from the numerous previous ones, including the one that was held very recently in the aftermath of the last Shoam elections, and nothing could be further from the truth. Gone is usual confidence of the UD-KHP members. Mikolasski's remarks seem to be subdued in tone, and Kistovsky, normally impeccably concerned, is rather unfocused. He is suddenly just an old man, unsure of his future. Nervous glances are constantly thrown at several empty rows reserved for the UD-KHP delegates. Apparently the call for boycott was heeded more widely than was anticipated. Independent representatives have gathered in small groups. The voices have hushed, and the options considered all seem unsatisfying in one way or another. The delegation of the Union of Agrarian Status seems to be in control for the first time in its history of the Hetman's Coalition. Sherry Schmidt managed to win in favor of Pavlo Skorgowski, where Levsensky's single-mindedness was rejected. Schmidt's perceived pragmatism is welcomed, as it benefits his recognized leader. His words at the conference were the first and the last. The majority of the talking in between was done by Mikhailo Kobetsky. He painted a vision of a strong Ukraine, undivided by petty partisan politicking, and united around the banner of labor hereditary monarchy. The first step towards this dream are the most important ones. Local class councils should be sufficiently empowered, their activities overseen by the Imperial Council of Jurors. Of course, the membership of the council won't be limited to the members of the USKHD. The independents and the UDKHP gained the appropriate share of the seats for themselves. In the end, the final vote was proposed changes. It was won by the slightest of margins, but it was enough. The transformation of the Ukrainian state begins now. So we had 50 days to land reform industrial missions. We gained coalition of the USKHD, which gives us stability goes down, weekly war score goes down for 150 days. The national period will worsen every 150 days. It will be removed once the USK's focus branch is complete. And the social conservatives are going to leave the coalition. So I'm guessing we need to rush our way down this tree as quickly as we can, so that will be removed once the USKHD's focus branch is complete, which I'm assuming is this here. You're the army in the state. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be finishing all this stuff up. So let's modify. If land reform score is higher than 35 on complete as focus, we'll get +5 to land reform. If an intelligence agency is already made, 30 political power were added. So I guess if we haven't, have we made an intelligence agency? We haven't. So you know what? Let's make one now. And we'll go for our mysticism and imperialism focus. And what is our land reform actually at? It's at 34. Okay, that's actually not bad. And you know what? We'll take you, which is going to be another +10. Our industrialization is basically ass, but we'll deal with that afterwards. A meeting in Drivka. As with many meetings preceding radical changes, this one is rather discreet. Army Minister Shel Schmidt has received his fellow co-leader and chief ideologue of the USKHD, Mikolai Puupi, in our ancestral home in a small village of Olek. I'm just going to say Olek, and we'll keep it at that, in the southwest of Lubny. Two prominent agrarian status have gathered to discuss the future of the movement and the country, now that Schmidt's grip on national power seems solidified. Coached by his blunt, the revolt has decisively proven the correctness and profound wisdom of Vyacheslav Lubensky's vision. As long as national politics are guided by classic demagogues and machinators who sway the global masses in pursuit of their own narrow interests, Ukraine will remain in danger. Times such as these require leadership capable of understanding what responsibility to fellow countrymen means. Leadership is rooted in the most organic social division imaginable, a class. The position of hetman must also be redefined. A monarch isn't supposed to be the most powerful politician supported by a servile bureaucracy, culminating in authoritarian dictatorship. The hetman should serve as a symbol of unity for all Ukrainians. His task, to protect and preserve a tradition of justice, to serve as a balancing factor between creative impulses and the willpower of the national elites and receptive of the public masses. Now that the USKHD has the real opportunity to bring this vision to life, indecisiveness is unacceptable. Otherwise, without a purpose, the organization will cease to exist. The monologue, rather seeming resembling a lecture, continued for some time, but Shemma was accustomed to such meetings. In the end, it was agreed that certain points from the classic credit program will be brought before the Hetman's Coalition for further consideration. The implementation, should the proposal be accepted, will fall on Puupi himself as newly elected head of the USKHD Council of Jurors. We do have some more units. Oh yeah, our fucking guy over here, right. Wait, why are you here? Were you my volunteer I sent? I thought I sent somebody else. Are you are you the volunteer? Am I insane? Why did you deploy in Spain? No, they are Spanish volunteers. Okay, I'm just a little confused. Paving the way. With the overall situation gradually stabilizing and reconstruction nearing the end, Ottoman Minister Shel Schmidt has called for a conference to expand the mandate of the Hetman's Coalition in view of new political developments. Despite significant scrutiny and resistance from Ottoman ministership being held by members of the agrarian status, it remains clear that the coalition under Shipman's rule has been one of, to say the least, stability and peace. At the conference, Schmidt, likely convinced by Puupi and his followers, and plans to push for an inclusion of several more radical proposals in the coalition program, like the creation of local class councils, as well as the elevation of the Council of Jurors to the status of a national institution. So where do I send you? I'm going to send you here. It does look like CNT's actually taken a lot of territory back, which is a little bit scary for us for sure. And the illusion of unity. Rumors have been spread around that the pact between Shel Schmidt allies and politicians close to the UDKHP figure Ahor, apparently in exchange for generous government positions. And part of the UDKHP will support Schmidt's agenda and vote in certain classic ideas to be included in the Hetman's Coalition program. Rumors have spread so far that Mikolowski addressed it today as members of the Democratic Agrarian Party, saying that if such a negotiation exists, then they should be conducted in the open, not in secret, as such secrecy ruins the unity of the party. He even pointed to Kraskovsky being the possible culprit for such a deal, invoking his reputation as a political manipulator in quite a mocking manner. Regardless of whether or not the rumors are true, it is clear that the inter-party unity has been strained and the agrarian Democrats are more disunited than ever. Okay, growing support among the peasants. You'd love to see it. Let's move you here as far as we possibly can. Republican remnants in the league. There's so many texts, which is good. I like all the texts in Kaiserreich. I like the events. There is a lot of it though. You know, let me just take a quick sip of my beverage here before we read a little bit more. How are you doing, commenters? People on YouTube, I hope you're enjoying the series so far. Republican remnants in the league. It seems that the League's attempt to court support from the Hetman's former opposition has bore fruit. With the support of Kirill Osmak's Conservative Association, the LUN, it has spread its influence across the dissatisfied peasantry. In an attempt to appeal to the broader populace, Zabrowski's party organs have toned down the anti-democratic voices and instead focused on criticizing the slow and ineffective land reform policy of the Hetman's government. Under the guise of rural protest moments, the League has started to attract more and more of those who early backed the Republicans, drawing up from very similar ideas: the call for social equality in the countryside, increased representation for the people in the elitist hetmanist regime, and the last appeal of plutocrats. In response to Shiri Schmidt's plans regarding the new coalition conference, the Democratic caucuses of the UDKHP has declared its intention to boycott it, and encouraging other UDKHP members to do the same. It's clear as day, they argue, that Schmidt intends to capitalize on the recent success of tackling the post-revolt crisis. The expansion of the mandate, according to them, is nothing more than a plain power grab, designed to advance USKHD anti-democratic agenda. While the plea hasn't been heeded by many, this démarche only increases division within the party. Although many among the UDKHP chose to ignore their concerns, it's obvious that the party delegation of the conference will be disadvantaged given all of the internal disagreements. Well, we do have 2 research slots, and it is 37. We're getting our 38 research. What do we want to take? There's not really a lot of text to unlock in 37, so give me the 38 support weapons, and you know what? Give me the 37 excavation too. We have a research bonus towards it anyway, so I think it makes sense for us. We're going to go up to this province here. We can unencircle this division. I will say I'm pretty sure the CNT FAI are going to end up winning their war. They're doing, I would say, pretty well for themselves. Are you back up to... You're still at waning. What is your actual capitulation at right now? 92 versus 90. So are you also waning? No, you're on high. I will say CNT looks like they have significantly more divisions, which I would say is a little scary. Do not... I gave you the 250 artillery, guys. You don't need to give it back to me. Okay, we'll pacify some more territory here. I'm going to send the 250 artillery back to them, because I don't actually want it. An unquestionable loyalty. Well, actually, where is our... So you're middling right now. 96 days, so you're done. Slash regulations. You know what? Give me a railroad here. If we do have 50 or more land reform points soon, the league will be able to take over the government. That seems pretty bad. But we're at currently 34. You'll be done in 96 days. While the league's agitators continue their efforts in radicalizing peasantry and organizing new protests, the military remains the most vulnerable institution for ultranationalist infiltration. Although sporadic contacts between every relatively high-ranking officer and the league existed for a long time, they were just that, mostly accidental and insignificant. This seems to be being changed for the worse, however, with rumors emerging about 2 officers who strongly involve the cooperation of the LUN, Petro Bobklan and Volodymyr Orskilo, who both have a reputation of being rather independently minded and somewhat rash in thought and action. It's an open secret in the military circle that both see the army as something more than a mere part of the state security apparatus. The strongly pronounced elitist tendencies of the SHD have always put them off, but the openly populist reticulates of the LUN managed to attract their interest. While they remain mostly indifferent to the more historic tenets of the league's beliefs, they definitely place certain hopes on this dynamic and uncompromising radical organization. So we're going to take -5% stability, national population support grows a little bit, and we need 50 or more land reform. Right now we're at 34, which is not honestly that good. If land reform is more than 60, so you boost up our land reform. This event will add stability if social conservative popularity is lower than 5%. Well, right now it's at 4, so you would boost that. But you also require you, which I don't want to take you right away. Higher than advisor, we get an additional 20% monthly population. If you have 400,000 manpower in the field, the national speed will be stronger. Right now we have 266. Well, do any of you boost my my land reform? You can boost my industrial reform, but you know that's nice and all. +2. I'm looking for land reform, but I don't think any of you. If you have 50 industrial score, you get +5, +5. But I don't have more. I have like 10. I think I've got like 10 points, which is not incredible. Well, you give me 50 political power, which is nice. Adds 120 days to the mission timer. Land reform goes away +2. Okay, fantastic. Barcelona. Oh, wait, Barcelona collapsed. Oh, my stupid plan is actually working. What are they at? But they're still at 55%. They now got low fervor. What's your current capital then? I don't really know, but apparently my stupid plan of just walking my way up the coastline actually worked. Go up to Zaragoza. Let's go up to this city next. Because you're worth 1. Got some Spanish troops moving their way down here. And I won't say no to that. Oh, I can just skip you. But it requires us to have like a lot of land reform, which we just don't have. +2 industrial scale or industrial score. I mean, that's nice. I guess I go with like cheaper guns. You're done in 35 days, which is not too bad. Are you cored? You are cored. Holy shit. Well, then I guess you're going to go over to Bilbao. I don't know how you would have had this stuff cored so fast. That's what's surprising me, I guess. Is all of this core? How do they core it so quickly? My god. Well, we'll see what we can do. If we can get them to capitulate on our own terms, then, I mean, that kind of works out. But, I mean, how are we actually going to kill them? They're at 37% right now. You're worth 5, you're worth 3, Burgos is worth... So I guess we'll just walk up the coastline here as well. I mean, at the very least, this is going to maybe delay the war a little bit. They did take back 1 city. Might take Zaragoza back. Thanks for the support equipment. Actually, I could use that. I'll sign you over to Green Army on the Russian front for now. I mean, the industrial score is pretty goddamn bad. Do any of you finish, like, faster than this? 120 days... 120 days. Well, I mean, I'll take it. I don't really have a choice in the matter. But I also might be screwing up my Spanish AI allies' front lines a little bit here. Okay, bailing out ailing farms. Absolutely. I don't really have a choice. I kind of need to get this done to get up to 50. We're at 40 right now. So it does mean we're at 30, which means you get +5. Excellent. We'll take you afterwards. And the Ukrainian National Rada. Since the end of the revolt in the fury of the VDR's forces to overthrow the Hetman, a sense of relative peace has returned to Ukraine. As the economy continues to recover, and the last Republican terror cells are rooted out, the leadership of Kiev has been expressing their worry and dismay at the birth of a new Republican threat in the form of the so-called Ukrainian National Rada. Though originally operated from Galicia, those in the VDR who have survived the Hetman's counteroffensive fled to the Commune of France, as Galicia was deemed too unsafe to return. Upon their arrival, they were welcomed with open arms and wasted no time reorganizing their efforts. At a conference held in the Palace of Tromosi in Paris, Petrulia, and as well as other VDR leaders, took to the podium to highlight the Republican struggle and carefully describe the next steps to take in order to ensure that a free and democratic Ukraine will come in the future. He furthermore highlighted the potential special relations the two countries could have. At the beginning of the Ukrainian Revolution in 1917, the newborn republic had particular interest in growing and forging ties with France, a major power in Europe, which not only had the means to exert influence over Eastern Europe and to break the power of the German and Russian imperialism, but whose democratic institutions and culture invoked a great admiration among Republican leaders. At the end of the conference, Petro announced the official formation of the Ukrainian National Rada, a now third international-backed government in exile that aims to overthrow the Hetman. Despite the organization going almost unnoticed among the average Ukrainian, its creation has worried some of the government, who have called for an immediate action one way or another to decapitate the movement. So the VDR is the... They're not actually listed in here, but I'm guessing they're probably one of the socialist tendencies. But I think that at least for the moment, this is going to be a good time for us to end off for today. So if you enjoyed, run a thumbs up. Not enjoying, throw a thumbs down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.